the intervals where it's increasing or decreasing. So step 1 is going to be find the derivative. So f prime of x will be 3x squared minus 3 over 2 times 2x. So I'm just showing you everything, so you can cancel this off and you end up getting 3x squared minus 3x. So this is the first step where you are finding the derivative. Alright, let's wait for you. The next one, step 2 is to find the critical numbers. Okay, step 1 is find the derivative, f prime of x, that's step 1. Step 2 is find the critical numbers. Okay, and to find the critical numbers, we equate the derivative to 0, which means I do 3x squared minus 3x is 0. Now where do we go from here? Right. So when you factor it out, you get 3x times x minus 1 is 0. So that gives you x is 0 and x is 1. So these are the critical numbers. Right? So these two steps clear to you? So the steps are always going to be the same. Whether it's for maximum or minimum, or for increasing or decreasing. It's all going to be the same. And then we have one more later on, but this is the concept, okay? Now from here, we are going into the actual finding. So step 3 is, it's going to be long to find the intervals. Okay? In order to find the intervals, remember I mentioned to you, we are again going to make the table. So here, are we given the endpoints? You're not. So think about the real line. I'm just showing you the x-axis. The critical numbers are 0 and 1. Right? Now, since the endpoints are not given, what we do is we pick the endpoints to be negative infinity. Okay? So, this is what we do. This picture, this line is important, so make sure you're drawing the line of it. What did I do? This is a critical number, and this is another critical number. Plot them, just to have an idea, and then negative infinity. Now, we need to check. So what we're going to do is, we want to check whether the function is increasing over here or decreasing. You see that? And then after it comes to 0, it will either go increasing or decreasing. You see that? And then when it touches 1, is it increasing or decreasing? See? That's what we're going to look for. So in order to do that, I'll redraw this. So what we're going to do, negative infinity, 0, 1, and infinity. We will divide this as intervals. So the first interval is from negative infinity to 0. See what I'm doing? We are making the table. The first row is going to be the interval. Negative infinity to 0. That's the first interval. You got it? Now the second interval will be from 0 to 1. And then the third interval, 1 to infinity. So please see, because this is the most important step. Once you get the critical numbers, we look at the endpoints. If they're not given, do negative infinity. You follow it? Now, remember what did we say about increasing or decreasing? How do we know if a function is increasing? What? Okay, but what is positive? F prime. So what we're going to do, let me tell you, F prime, which means if I pick a point in this interval, and if I draw the tangent line, its slope is going to be positive, right? So we are going to pick a point, pick a test value between negative infinity to 0. This is what we're going to do. Pick any number between negative infinity to 0. So say negative 1. Okay? Then, pick a number between 0 and 1. 0.5. Pick a number between 1 to infinity. 2. You see? So, find the interval. You divide the interval. The second step is to pick the test value. So, we pick the test value to be -1, 0.5, and 2. Make sense? Now, all we're doing is picking one number in the interval. Okay? Now what we're going to do is, we have to test the sign of f prime. So look at your function. What was f prime of x? What was f prime? No. F prime. Minus 3x. You see this? So what we're going to do is, we are going to check the sign of f prime of this one. So f prime, when I plug in f prime of -1. So when you plug in, there's going to be 3 times -1 squared minus 3 times negative. You see? All I did was, step 1, get the interval. Step 2, pick the test value. Step 3, find f prime. So this is going to be 3 plus 3, right? You see? So the answer you get is 6, which is positive. You see? All we're looking for is not the number, whether it's positive or negative. So it's positive, therefore, what can you conclude about the function? It is increasing. So, since it's positive, the function is increasing. And following, now pick the value, plug in the number in f prime. That's the difference between max and this increasing.
So, because you said the interval is negative 0.
Yes, negative infinity to 0, the function is increasing. Yes. Yes, we are. We are going to go now to f of 0.5. F of 0.5. So that will be 3 times 0.5 squared minus 3 times 0.5. So, so look at this. Will the function be positive or negative? You don't need the actual number. So this will be, it will be negative. This is a negative number, so it's because it will be some decimal minus 0.5. So this will be negative. That will be less than 0. Okay? So all you need is just positive or negative. So this will be decreasing. Alright? And now let's do the last one. F prime of 2. So 3 times 2 squared minus 3 times 2. It will be positive. Greater than 0. So you don't, I just showed you the actual number, but you don't need the actual number. So it's positive, therefore the function is increasing. Like this. So what you conclude by saying the function is function is increasing. So it is increasing in negative infinity, 0, and 1 to infinity. Hold on. And then it's decreasing at 0, 1.